Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
What's up, guys? Welcome to our show. Today we discuss about career agility in marketing, and I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Engelina Jaspers. How are you?
I'm very good, Anatoly. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, on Friday I always have positive mindset. By the way, I have on Monday as well. So, yeah, I think if you wake up in the morning and can set up the positive mindset, it doesn't matter what kind of day you have, how many things you need to do. Just relax, enjoy the process, go ahead, choose priorities. Don't try to do anything. Yeah, and with such mindset, you can go ahead.
Yeah, totally agree. Mindset is key. Yeah.
Yeah. Please tell about yourself, experience, background, and why you decided to share with us about career agility.
Okay, great. Sure. A little bit about me. I'm a lifelong marketing professional, and every day I strive to learn something new, not only to have a positive mindset, but to learn something new. And that's why I like to say that I'm a student and teacher of marketing and career agility. I spent the last 3 to 4 decades in corporate America, everything from building brands and reputations and teams and pipelines to driving demand. And I really learned a lot about how important flexibility, resilience, and agility is in having a successful long career. I've experienced revolving door CEOs, lots of business course corrections, disappointing quarters, budget refreshes. And it wasn't until I was tapped to lead a couple marketing transformations, this is big scale, pretty massive marketing transformations, that I really learned a lot about and got an inside view into, I want to say, career winners and career losers during change and disruption. So today I share that knowledge and insight with the next generation. I'm also an author of a book, Marketing Flexology, How to Outsmart Change and Future-Proof Your Career. So I look like Whoa, it looks like I'm frozen there. Okay.
Yeah. Just your screen because I can hear voice well. So
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, you can reload. By the way, just click settings. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Angelina is reloading her screen, and I wanna tell guys, if you wanna go ahead, the first thing what you need to do in marketing, you need to choose priorities. Don't try to be jack of all trades, master of none. Just choose something that works for you. And marketing is huge. You can't be successful everywhere. Just choose one direction: SEO, paid marketing, social media, content marketing, even audio podcasts. For example, you can see that I host my audio podcast. I can invite awesome speakers. I can learn from them, but I pay attention to something that works for me, and it helps me to go ahead. It helps me to overcome all obstacles that I have during the way. I found one interesting thing: the best what you can do is doing, not learning. The best marketers are practitioners. The best entrepreneurs are practitioners. Okay, you can read books, you can learn, you can listen to audio podcasts, but if you do nothing, you can't get awesome results. You need to do something. You need to provide, and then the results will come. Oh, Angelina is getting back. So, Angelina, just tell more about your book, because I love reading books. It's my passion. I can spend time. Give me a solid reason why I need to read your book, why my audience need to read your book, because I think from books we can get the foundation of skills. Tell more about benefits in your book.
Okay. Boy, I'm sorry about that connection. I don't know what happened right there, but anyway, we're back, and I think we're real live examples of agility and resilience in action. What do you think?
Yeah. For me, things happen, but you need to stay positive and go ahead. So you can't avoid any mistakes, errors. I think in low connection, many other stuff, it's possible, but just go ahead and enjoy the process. Yeah. What do you think about? Oh, we lost Angelina again. And okay, guys, let me continue with that about reading and learning. For example, I usually read a lot of blog posts. I usually read books. I consume content, but I only 20% of my time. 80% of my time, I'm acting, I'm doing something, I'm testing, I'm failing, I'm winning. So it depends. You can fail, win, but you can fail. You can learn from failures. You can learn something that actually works for you. Oh, Angelina is getting back one more time. It's Friday. On this day we have some surprises, but that's okay.
All right, I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, here I am again. And I'm not using my Logitech. I'm actually using my microphone and my computer now. So we'll see if that works a little bit better. You can still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Beautiful. That sounds
good.
okay.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Let's
Okay.
start from your book. Can you provide benefits of your book? What kind of benefits you share on your book? How it can help others to grow, to overcome obstacles, and be better specialists?
Yeah. So my book is based on my, like I said, 30 plus years of marketing experience, really in the front lines, seeing, like I mentioned, how marketing managers and directors and leaders managed and mismanaged their teams, their budgets, their agencies, and their, just their, in general, their teams and their people. And so what I did is in the book is really provide a framework for other marketing leaders to avoid making some of the same mistakes. So I like what you said up front, Anatoly, about a mindset, because I think half the book is about developing a marketing agility mindset. And then the second half of the book is really about the tool set. And I think the tool set is probably easier to share and to teach than the mindset. The mindset, although I spend a lot of time talking about the traits and being business first instead of me first and those types of things. But then I get into what are the dials, what are the tools, what are some of the core essentials to building an organization, a marketing capability that can sway with the punches, so that when you do have a disappointing quarter, which we all do, when you do have a management, a business disruption, a new competitor enters your space, that you can pivot, sway with the punches and pivot and really start performing and get back on track really quickly without you losing your job, hopefully.
Nice, got it. I'm interested about how to choose the right direction in marketing, because marketing is huge. Yeah, we have many different types of marketing. Digital marketing, we can divide SEO, paid marketing, social media, content creation. Many different directions. How to choose the right way? Because the reason why I'm asking about that, I see when content creators trying to be jack of all trades, to cover everything.
Yeah.
For me personally, I want to know everything, but I can't be successful and become the best. If you want to become the best, choose one specific direction. And I know marketers who, for example, create only one link building technique to earn $1 million. They don't provide anything else, just focus in one specific technique. Can you tell from your experience how to find this direction?
Yeah, now that's what I love about marketing. It's not a boring profession. It's ever changing, and as a result, there's a lot of avenues where you can go. You can be front office, back office, operation, a brand, demand, there's so many different ways you can go because it's really the heartbeat of an organization. So I like to tell, new students, just coming into career professionals, coming into the marketing professionals, that they really have to have a marketable skill, right? I mean, you have to have some skill set in order to get hired, so that's where, you have this thing about ability and agility, ability, you have to have something, whether it's SEO or data analysis or a copywriting experience or automate, something in your toolbox that people will pay you for. So I started out in public relations. So I had a degree advanced degree actually in public relations and editorial and writing. So I started out in PR. But very quickly, I moved from PR to marketing communications, which was an easy migration. And then from there, I moved, as I kept moving up the career, the career progression or whatever, I was just given more and more responsibility. And then I've worked in the region level, the global level, the corporate level. I think so the advice, I think, is to have marketable skills along the way. I do think agility becomes more important, and the ability to see cross-functional becomes more important the higher up in the organization you go. So it's good to be grounded and have some core skills because no one in marketing just manages and directs. Everybody rolls up their sleeves and gets the work done. From my experience.
Yeah, agree with that. Okay, let's talk about doing more than learning. I see when marketers learn a lot, spend time by reading books, blog posts, taking courses. But the best marketers are practitioners. They speak on conferences. They create their content. They test many different things, and I found that the best marketers don't learn a lot because they learn from experience, to find something that works for them. Can you tell about practice more? How to practice, for example, if you started from scratch without any experience, and how to practice all the stuff?
Yeah, so experience is a wonderful teacher, as you know, and I think that's probably the best way of learning by doing, right? Is how you learn. You learn from your mistakes, you learn from others, you learn from your coaches, your boss, your coaches, your peers. So I think learning by doing is critical. There's a model called, I don't know if you've heard about it, Anatoly, it's called the 70-20-10 model. They use it in learning and development, L&D communities, in companies. Anyway, it says that 70% of your learning comes from experience. And that's why picking the right experience for you at that time is so critical, because you've probably heard before, someone will say, I've been in digital marketing for 10 years. Well, you say, are they 10 progressive years in digital marketing? Or did you do 10 years, 1 year of digital marketing 10 times? Are you progressing and learning new things, new skills? So 70% is from learning and doing and the coaching, but then 70% is learning from others. So that's where other people, mentors, coaches, etc., you observe other people and they will help you along the way, whether it's a sponsor. And then only 10% is from, like you said, those conferences, the books, the podcasts, very, very important. But companies really don't invest in employees' learning and development as much as they used to. When I started in marketing, we had 6 weeks of training a year. I mean, it was really very rigorously enforced that we had lots and lots of training. And I valued that a lot. But now you're really on your own. So that's why I think the experience and each block of experience, and sometimes you might want to take a lateral move. You're doing something, but you say, this will give me experience or exposure to a new industry, a new competitive set, a new technology, a new tool set, something that can add something to your repertoire. So I think experience is very valuable. So pick wisely those sets of experience, right? And don't stay in a company too long, because tenure is a double-edged sword. It can be, I spent 14 years at HP, for instance, Hewlett Packard. And I remember people saying, and I had 6 different CEOs over those 14 years. So, and 6 different CMOs. So it was really a very different company every 2 years. And this direction, that direction, region, company, corporate, region. But I remember at the end saying, the good news is you have 14 years of experience at HP. The bad news is you have 14 years of experience at HP. So what's that fine line, between tenure and, experience? Because tenure can be a double-edged sword. So.
Nice. Love it. Okay. You mentioned that you started from PR. And I found, PR specialists are great marketers because they can personalize the message and think about sharing value. Because, for example, when I'm looking for new PR specialists or agencies, I usually check out them. And many of them tell, okay, I can get you backlinks, mentions from Forbes, Bloomberg, many other websites.
Yeah.
And when they write press release, I see overselling. without any value, without any personalization,
Yeah.
just template with my company name. Can you tell about personalization? How to personalize messages? And because, for example, if I create a piece of content, if I wanna get these mentions on publications, popular publications, how give a solid reason to be published?
Yeah. So personalization has, that's a very big, it's not just one to many, it's one to few, but really the goal is one to one, right? And that's personalization. But unfortunately, it's very difficult to scale personalization, right? And that's why I think a lot of companies have settled on ABM, account-based marketing, because it's really one to few. But anyway, so personalization is time consuming. So I don't think you can personalize to every single person, but I think you can personalize to groups or categories of people. And that's why buyer personas become so valuable. And so for PR, the same thing. It's like, who are you writing for? The first thing, it's, we call it buyer personas, but it's like, who is your audience? Who's going to digest this? And I think the core skill in PR really is, and in writing, and PR is very valuable training or editorial, because now it's copywriting, now it's content writing, and content is king now, right? Everybody wants content. That starts with writing. And where do you learn writing? PR training is very, very good for that. And I agree, a lot of people don't pay attention to good quality writing. It's really the ability of marketing, I think, to digest complex amounts of and large volumes of information and make it relevant to you as a person. So that's where you're talking about the personalization. It's really tough to scale. I don't know, Anatoly, if you've had better luck with personalization. I think the analytics help, but I still get things, directed at me that, are mismatched, that, they got things wrong. So they really don't know me, but they know kind of people like me. So I think one to few or one to select is probably the best right now, where people have landed, where that's economical and it's scalable. I don't know. Maybe you've had better luck with it than most of the companies I've worked with. I don't know.
Love it. Yeah. No, I remember this quote in marketing: if you sell to anyone, that means you sell to no one. So
right.
yeah.
Totally
Yeah.
agree. You can't make it too generic. But on the other hand, people will say, I want this message map, but here's my 7 audiences. And it's like, well, and then who's going to maintain that? There's a lot of maintenance and version control and maintaining, that's why the content management systems come into play. But it's so critical, but it's so time consuming.
Yeah, nice. I found one interesting thing that book authors usually are great with sharing stories. And for example, when I see new advertisement from BMW or Apple, I see stories. I don't see new awesome products. I see how Tim Cook can share about new Apple Watch, for example. I bought after this Apple Watch, because he sold me the story. By the way, I bought 3 items because I need to buy to my son, to my wife. So yeah, but I watched this story how Apple Watch can decide problems, how can simplify my life, and I found the book authors usually share stories, great stories. Can you tell how to craft a story today that can touch customers' minds?
Yeah, you hit it on the head. Storytelling is so critical. We used to call them parables, right? So, storytelling, it's the only thing people remember that can be passed down, because people won't remember the facts and figures. They won't remember bits and bytes, but they'll remember how you made them feel or the story behind it. And so that's why I think it's very, very powerful for marketers, not only to be into the creative aspect of marketing is very, very important. And I think sometimes, I think we as marketers kind of are in a little bit of a trap, because we've become so analytic focused that most marketers I know sit behind their computer screens, managing variables, switching out variables and algorithms, in A/B testing, ABCD testing to see what resonates. And while that's important, I don't think manipulating variables that's not what's going to win the hearts and minds of a customer or consumer or your new investor or whatever. I think you have to tell a compelling story, and that starts with the very top messaging. Level 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get to the bits and bytes and product features, call to action, but at the top you have to have a reason why. Something that's really bigger than the product, bigger than the company. So
Nice. Love it. Okay, let's talk about buying persona. You mentioned about buying persona. Can you help to create a buying persona for new project? For example, if someone created high quality product and have the goal to sell a lot, to get a lot of sales, how to create buying persona?
Yeah. So so buyer persona, how to create them? So usually people say what they look at the demographics of their key target audience, and then say what are those data elements that are associated with them. Are they college educated? Are they male, female? What do they read? What shows do they attend to? So I don't have a formula right in front of me, but then a lot of people name them like Sally or Billy or whatever. And then they'll put a whole story around who that buyer is, that persona is, what's their pain points, where do they go, where do they shop, what makes them tick, and why would they be interested in your product. And that helps marketers, I think, get inside the head of the customer. But, there's nothing like getting up front and personal and meeting with people face to face, because no one really fits into a unique buyer persona. Yeah, you could be the decision maker, you could be someone in finance or someone in legal. I don't know. I think there's a lot of work to be done still. You can tag, add tags to people, but there's a lot more work. I mean, people change, right? They're at home and at work, and they're two different people. So.
Yeah. Angelina, I have the question about your career. For example, you have this awesome career, 30 years. And I check out a few studies online that CEOs and sales people don't trust marketers, because of many things. Can you tell how to convince stakeholders, decision makers that they need to spend some budget with marketing? It's important because companies often they want to get sales today, but marketing takes time to craft the message, to create brand awareness. So tell your methods how to convince CEOs or any other decision makers about marketing budget.
Yeah, no, so you're absolutely right. They expect you to hit the ground running. And CEO or CMOs, as you know, have short tenures. There's a lot of mistrust with the CMO community. We don't have any professional code of ethics, in our profession. We don't have any standardized metrics. You go from one company to the next company to the next company, and all the marketing metrics are. So we hurt ourselves, I think, as marketers in the marketing community by not having that cohesiveness across our discipline across the marketing function. So how do you convince a CEO? I think it's really by your everyday actions. It's by, you have to ask questions. You have to deliver while you're asking questions. So you want to buy a little bit more time, but it's simply hopefully most marketers, I don't know, most senior managers are a little bit more enlightened, but I've found plenty that aren't. And they're just looking for, I've had people say, I've given you 200,000, where's the avalanche of leads? It's like, it doesn't work like that. It's not like, you have this money and all of a sudden you're going to turn out an avalanche of leads. So it's an education process. It's tiring. You have to have a good advocate, I think. I would make finance your best friend. Mm-hmm. If you can get the finance, the chief financial officer on your side, I think that is a very good partnership to cultivate, quite frankly. And because, they really look at things very, very differently. But if you can win them over and understand, they'll give you a little bit of lead time, more than 30, 60, 90 days. But if you're stepping into an organization that's only looking for generating leads and not really caring about their brand or reputation, well, shame on them. Maybe it's the wrong organization for you to be in. They can dial for dollars if they want. So hopefully companies, there's plenty of research out there. So hopefully companies and leaders are a little bit more enlightened. We'll give you a little bit of lead time. I like to say that just because you're the CMO of a company, chief marketing officer, no one's saying hail to the chief, So
Yeah.
you have to prove it. You have to prove your worth each and every day. And then over time, I think you build your trust, your reputation. But I also think you have to be business minded and and you have to use metrics that the C-suite understands. So basic accounting metrics, all this black box metrics that marketers use, that are important to us, perhaps. They'll talk about brand equity and stuff that, CEOs could care less about brand equity studies and all that. They care about reputation. They care about stock price. They care about top line, bottom line. But, we hurt ourselves when we say, we've gotten into so many discussions about leads, marketing qualified leads, sales qualified leads. These are true leads versus, it's like gobbledygook. So no wonder they don't, no wonder why they don't. It's hard to understand. It's hard to understand how we measure ourselves and hold ourselves accountable.
Nice. Yeah, I think marketers can use personalization as well to CEOs, decision makers. Yeah, I have the question about, I check out one study that 70% of people hate their jobs. A lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a lot. And according to your career, can you tell why people? What do you think? Why they hate their jobs? Why they go to the job when they have this feeling, unsatisfaction, many other stuff, and what to do if you have this feeling? Because I think if half of people have it, even more. So your advice, how to go ahead with that?
Yeah, I think that would be awful to go to a job that you hated. And I don't know a lot of marketers that hate their job. I think they hate the process. They hate the bureaucracy, they'll say. I hate all the systems, the checks. They want to just do great, brilliant marketing, And so I think as leaders, it's our job to shield our teams, to do their best marketing work, and then we can fight the budget crunch and, all the stuff that goes on in companies, which is not a lot of fun, the streamlining, the accountability. It's more, but if we can really marketers should be focused on marketing and on the customers. And, they should be the advocate for the customer in the room. And if they can, I do think marketing leaders need to shield their teams so marketers can do their best work, And I do think, and that's what I write about in my book, having a firm foundation that's very clear and transparent allows marketers, sets the boundaries for marketers to do their best work. So, I think we get in our own, I think we create a lot of our own problems, as marketers, but most people do anyway.
Okay, guys, you need to read this book. You can find this book in the description below. And after that, you will love your job. So you will know the process of marketing backs. I have the question about, how to create the right marketing strategy, because marketing is huge. We have many different channels. From your experience, how to find the best strategy, the best possible strategy. Let's call like this, because I see when companies usually replicate competitors, they analyze them by using tools, average study, but competitors usually use their strong sides, and I think it's better to stand out from the rest and create your creativity, your strategy, considering your unique selling proposition and style. Can you tell about creating the right strategy?
I think the fact that you even mentioned creating a marketing strategy is brilliant. You know how many people don't even do marketing strategies? They really just do marketing tactics or programs. And, that if it doesn't ladder up. So I always say, well, it's got to start with a business strategy. then the marketing strategy, then the marketing programs. But it's all got to tie all the way up to the business strategy and the business pain points. So if you listen to the CEO and what their quarterly earnings are, it's very easy to say, and their internal coffee talks and stuff, very easy, hopefully, to understand what are the key business challenges and what are they trying to do. And then I think marketing's goal is to develop marketing strategies to help. So whether it's competitive advance, whether it's technology obsolescence, whether it's entering new markets, new emerging markets, whether it's driving pipeline, which is always, but it could be something that they want to win over some new investors, or some new, new round of venture capitalists, or something of that nature. So if you listen to what the needs are of the business and the pain points, and then I write them down, and then you can have that conversation with the CEO and say, you've identified these 5 things. This is how marketing can help. But they've got to really fit hand in glove. And then they say, good, how can you do this? And then you develop the programs and the tactics behind it. But so many marketers start the other way, and they say, oh, I want to do an 18-city road show. Why? Why are you doing an 18-city road show? Right? Why are you doing a social media program? Why are you doing a competitive knockout, program? Unless the CEO said that's very important, but you've got to take your cues from the business leaders. And then they're more receptive to your question earlier. How do you build trust? They're more receptive to what marketing. And if you're successful in driving that, more money will come. I mean, it really does happen. The money does flow to worthy causes. If they see results and you're listening to their pain points, instead of saying, no, we've got to drive brand awareness. And they're saying, geez, what I really want to do is, put us on the map in, XYZ, or with this competitor in this new industry. So we're not listening. We're doing our own thing. So that's what I would, the best marketing strategy is business strategy brought to life. Yeah.
Oh, love it. I have the question about top mistakes. Not top mistakes, common mistakes that you can see in marketing from your experience. Can you share a list?
Yeah, common mistakes. So I think one of the CEOs we had at HP was really interesting, and he said, and I remember it all these years later. He said, every hire and every fire, every person you hire and every person you fire sends a signal to the organization on what you value. And it really struck with me. And I thought, yeah, that really, so I think the mistakes marketers make is they don't adhere to, they don't ascribe, or they don't adhere to a standard. And what I mean by that is, or a standard transparency in how they operate. So they'll hire someone that they worked with at another company, that might be a director, to report to the CMO, but the CMO only has VPs. And all of a sudden you have this director. Or you might have a VP reporting to a VP. That sends a signal to the organization of what you value and where they fit in the organization. Then they know it's all about relationships and not about merit, or not about performance. Or, they bring in agencies that they've worked with in the past without doing a competitive bid. Oh, there's so many mistakes people make. It's mostly around people. They're people hiring, I think. Another thing I think, Anatoly, that I've seen a lot is when a new CMO or a leader comes in, they clean house. They say, I was hired to, clean house. CEO wasn't happy with the way things were going. So I'm going to get rid of all these people and start new. It's like, no, that's the absolute worst thing you could do. You need to have an honest conversation with every single person on your marketing team and understand what their strengths are, what their aspirations are, what their skills are. And just don't make a blanket statement that out with the old, I'm going to bring in my new people from my sister company that I've always worked with, because it's easier. And I've heard people say, I only get one chance to do this right. I have to, go with people I know and trust. It's the wrong signal to send to the organization. So that's what I found. So maybe it's a lack of standards or transparency or values. I don't know what it is, but it's not good. It's not good for morale. So
Yeah, got it. Yeah, valuable. Uh, I have the question that I always ask experts in my show about starting from scratch. For example, you have no experience, 50 years of experience in marketing. What would you do today if you started from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills
Oh.
to build your marketing career?
Oh, if I had no, so I would do, like I said earlier, build some marketable skills. So whether it's in copywriting or SEO, whether it's in PR, whatever it is, I would build my marketable skills. There's a lot of, whether it's in analytics, there's a lot of free courses from HubSpot and from Google Analytics and from a host of companies that are free that you can take. So I would take some LinkedIn training, online training, free training. Some you might have to pay for, and I would get some kind of, personally, I would get some kind of a certification or credentials that I can say I've taken these courses and I'm a certified digital marketing professional or social media professional. At least you have something to walk in that someone will say, I'll pay money for this skill set. Otherwise, you have nothing to go on, right? You have to have something in your toolbox to show that you can add value. So that's how I would start. I would take some free courses, get some certifications, add them to your resume, and then take it from there. Get your first role, and then overperform, over deliver, and from there, I think you skyrocket.
Yeah, valuable. Yeah, I agree. But I found one thing that when people take courses and do nothing after that, so you can learn from courses, but you need to implement ideas. You need to do something because learning doesn't bring anything, but doing brings results, shows what actually
Yeah,
works for you. So yeah, it's better
yeah,
to do after learning courses. Courses are great, but they have no golden buttons. They have no secrets.
yeah,
They have just generic ideas that you can implement, adapt, and create your marketing career strategy and results. I have the question about consistency. Can you tell about how to be consistent in marketing? Because for example, for example, when I start something new, like PR, and for me, of course, not for you, and I can feel, oh, I can win in PR, I can get all these mentions, links, anything. But after some time, I got it. It's hard for me to compete with many others, and it takes
yeah.
time to improve skills, to develop them, to learn how you can
Oh,
go
yeah.
in this way. Can you tell about consistency and focusing, how it's important in marketing to focus in one direction, and how to improve skills during the way with patience?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Focus and consistency are key, and things take time. You've heard the saying, people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. You've heard that
Yeah.
before, and it's true. So I think being consistent, whether it's in social media posting, and whether that's only once a week or if it's once an hour, it doesn't matter. Just be consistent, whether it's in your writing, where you show up, and how you show up. And it's hard because you're self-motivating yourself many of the time, without seeing any return. But it will slowly build confidence and trust. And that consistency it's what's brand and reputation. You really building your personal reputation. So that's
Mhm.
critical. That's really critical. And doors open, and one door opens and leads to another and leads to another.
Yeah.
So
I remember when I decided to grow my social media network, and I tried uh, to build my network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. And I
too
failed.
much.
Yeah, I failed. But when I switched all my attention to LinkedIn, I could grow my audience because
Yeah.
of paying attention to one specific direction. So, guys, I advise just choose one direction, become the best on this direction. So,
Yeah.
and you can understand other niches. You can learn, understand, but not to be an expert. Be an expert in one niche. Yeah. Angelina.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the final question.
Okay.
forecast the future of marketing. What kind of future will be from according to your experience? What do you think?
Marketing is an ever-evolving field, and that's why I think that's what draws the most creative people into this. The most innovative people are drawn to marketing profession because it is so ever-changing. And the reason it's ever-changing is because it's ever-changing consumer needs, wants, motivations, and behaviors. Our customers are ever-changing, so we have to ever-change. So what's the future of marketing have in store for us? I'm not 100% sure, other than I know that I started in analog marketing and I ended up in digital. I can see the changes over the years, but nothing ever goes away. So the biggest change, I think, is going to be breaking through the clutter. You mentioned that focus, positioning. I think that's so critical because breaking through the clutter is going to become harder and harder. It's like a drop in the ocean, and it's very easy to say, where am I? There's so much competition. There's so much noise out here. How do I get heard? Right. And, you can't wait to go viral. So I think consistency, focus, all those things, and being adaptable and resilient. So getting back to the agility, thing. It's really being able to embrace new things as they come rather than, explore them. So you explored Instagram, TikTok, all the rest. Explore and be conversant in it, but it doesn't mean you have to jump in both feet, cryptocurrency and all this, be knowledgeable. But I do think breaking through the clutter is going to be critical. And so I think developing our sense of creativity, getting away from some of the A/B testing, I hate to say that, but really getting into the hearts and minds of what moves people. What is it that really resonates? How do you make a difference in people's lives in a way that, have your product as second, your product is a reason to believe maybe, or a solution, but it's not how you lead. I don't know. It's going to get much more complicated, I think, moving forward. Nothing goes away. Everything old is new again, right? Now they're doing direct mail because it breaks through the clutter. It's like, okay, because who gets mail anymore, right? So
love it.
Creativity,
Awesome.
So I think creativity, honing your skills, making sure that you're aware, and I just love marketing. I think it's a fascinating profession, and it's been a very rewarding profession for me. So I've loved it.
Nice. Yeah, I think without love, it's hard to develop your skills at any niche. It doesn't matter. Marketing, name them. You need to enjoy and love the process. So then you can go ahead. Angelina, it's a big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you. Tell our audience the best way how to reach out to you, to learn more about you, follow you.
Sure. So I'm on LinkedIn as well. I think that's a good business-to-business channel. I'm on Twitter at Ready to Flex. I'm on LinkedIn at Engelina Jaspers. My website is Marketing Flexology. But if you type in my name, angelinajaspers.com, that will also go to Marketing Flexology. So I have a newsletter, and I have a quiz to see how you can test your marketing agility. So see if you're a cheetah or if you're an elephant.
Got it. Okay, guys, you need to try it. It's interesting, just to be curious, try it. Angelina, thanks again for your time. A big pleasure. Always welcome back if you want to share more valuable insights, because for me, I've learned a lot more. I'm going to improve, to implement it. Guys, you can find all links to Angelina social media accounts, including LinkedIn, in the description below. Buy this book, because I'm going to read this book. Of course, I have a huge list of books that I need to read, but I'm going to use to read your book as well, because I want to be a better marketer. Okay, guys, love you. See you.
Excellent. Okay.